do unpaid internships lead to a job? Now, of course, we've all heard that, yeah, it does. Well, of course, you go in there, you get experience, you work with the company, and then you can put that on your resume, you get a job, right? And you get valuable industry experience, networking, all that stuff, right? Turns out, not so much. Not entirely the case. Now, according to a recent survey by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, those who had unpaid internships were about as likely to find a job as someone with no internship at all. Now, I actually find that fascinating because, I mean, internships, unpaid internships, are you working for free? And so having no change between, having an equal chance of getting a job with somebody who's had no internship experience, that sucks because you have just been used for free labor.
Now, I agree. Want to make comparisons to, say, slave labor, but I see problems there. Now, some employers will do this to their unpaid interns, but that's something the school should be watching for, that interns are not abused or misused. The idea that you get this practical experience, it is, in my opinion, phenomenal, because theory is theory, but theory means bullshit in the real world. So it's not so much that this internship is giving you an edge in the marketplace and going to make you more marketable. I don't see it as the benefit there. What I see it as the benefit is to the student themselves, in the sense that rather than seeing all this theory, they actually get to experience the real-world practicality of what's going on and see how this theory that they're learning in class translates to the real world. And a lot of times it doesn't, and that's the whole point of it. So there is a valuable gain to the students to be found in it. Whether it should be unpaid or not is a different kind of question. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to small honorariums because of the fact that the internship is part of it. The way it's set up now in colleges and universities is that the unpaid internship is a part of the credit that you're receiving because you're actually experiencing the real world aspect of what you're trying to study.
Okay, but not necessarily. Not necessarily, and I want to get to that a little bit later. But first, I want to break down what they did for the survey. Okay, so the survey involved 9,200 college seniors from February to April of this year. I know it's kind of a limited amount of time. I understand that. The results match a study of 11,000 students that was also done last year. So to break down the numbers a little bit, 37% of people that had unpaid internships received job offers, while 63% of students that had paid internships were offered jobs. So obviously a higher amount of people that had a paid internship, i.e. they put company resources into this person so that they got a job, or so that they actually learned the job, would actually get the job. However, an unpaid intern is more of a throwaway, right? More kind of an expendable employee. Now, like I said, contrast that with 35% of students without any internships that were offered jobs, and that's just under the people that actually had an unpaid internship that were offered jobs. So it's almost virtually identical, which is actually really sad. Now, among students who found jobs, former unpaid interns were actually offered less money than those with no internship experience. Now that blows my mind right there. You have an internship, but you're paid less than somebody without an internship that you hire. And I kind of have a little bit of a theory to this, and it's because you've demonstrated that you're already going to work for free.
Well, hypothesis in all aside.
Hypothesis, yes, let's correct that. It is a hypothesis, not a theory. It's just me guessing. But I think it's pretty sound in my head at least.
If you look at it in common and simple, it probably is pretty founded to make such a hypothesis. But one of the real problems I have with internships is that I'm more of a fan of apprenticeships instead of internships, and I'm a firm believer in apprenticeship programs, and I think that internships, unpaid internships, just shouldn't be allowed, because to me that's just like free labor. Now, that being said, and there's no reason that an apprenticeship wouldn't get you the same college credits, if you were trying to work toward an industry, and there's no reason that you shouldn't be paid for the labor you're providing. If you're providing an internship that is unpaid, should be more like making a documentary. You should be standing off to the side, taking notes, not performing any of the tasks, but observing those tasks. That is about the best that you should be doing in an unpaid internship, but it is not the case here. People are really being taken advantage of. Some are being left alone, unsupervised, answering phones in an office and coordinating. I've seen legal offices coordinated for it, and I can't tell you, exactly where I've seen it. It would be a conflict, but I've seen it by the hundreds.
I just want to say, if you back up the tape and listen, I want to make it clear that I do not believe in unpaid internships. I think that there should be something attached to that. I don't think slave labor is right in any case.
Right.
And I do agree
I
with
agree.
Kevin. I'm wholly in support of. I'm fully in support of apprenticeships over internships. And
Right,
so,
I
sorry.
agree with Kevin. I think it's a better system. Apprenticeships is a better system to set up. Unpaid internships should not be allowed. It is basically slave labor. You're taking advantage of someone who's just trying to get experience for, their career and their future. And it doesn't happen. They don't get the experience to become familiar with their field. They're just, taken advantage of for, menial tasks at best.
Edwin Nace of, ironically, a place called Nace, their research center, said that while there's a stark difference between having a paid internship and no internships in terms of offer rates and median salary, it's all pretty much seems to wash away when you're talking about unpaid internships versus no internship at all. And here's another study that's related to this from a place called Intern Bridge. And it's a consulting firm that specializes in college recruiting. Now, they found that college students were about twice as likely to receive a job offer at the conclusion of a paid internship than unpaid. And this is just correlating with the rest of the data. 83% of unpaid interns didn't receive a job offer. 64% of paid interns did not receive a job offer. The field made no difference. So what you studied, what you went into, it made no difference. And really, I would expect to hear an argument that says, well, of course if you're going into, poli-sci, you're not going to find anything. Oh, of course if you're going into, art history, you're not going to find an internship and get a job from it. But it doesn't matter the field. You could go into accounting. It's true across the board, no matter what career. And it also doesn't matter how well you do in school. The GPAs of paid and unpaid interns were the same across this study. And it's still, and it's still held out that unpaid interns got less job offers. Even though they're just as qualified and just as smart, and they went into, high demand fields, they still got less job offers than those with paid internships.